Alright guys, Lee went and brought some more things. You've probably seen if you're on our Facebook page and Instagram. A bit different than what we normally do, so this one is a bit of a repair job first, so I'm going to check that out. He's in here. Hey mate.
Gregory.
What's happening?
Nice of you to join us, mate.
Yeah, but what do you
got?
What
I got? Rocket Bunny Lip Kit.
Treat. As I was saying before, so if you've seen on the Facebook or Instagram, you would have seen that he purchased them. So there's a bit of work that had to be done, because what were you saying, one was cracked really bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, so the front lip here, where this big lot of fiberglass repair is happening,
yeah,
there was a it's not like this side here's just got a little hole from being scraped across the floor so many times.
Yeah,
it's got a hole in it, which should be pretty easy to fix, but this was actually cracked there. So between like there and there was this bit was just cracked up.
yeah.
So I actually had to get proper fiberglass mesh and reinforce that, bring it all back together, and then sand that. And this is now body filler. So the body filler you put on after you've sanded all the fiberglass, because the fiberglass being weaves has all like divots and stuff in there.
Yeah.
So the body filler will fill that all in and allow you to contour the shape back to how you want it. So the reason I've started this already before Greg got here is because I've never done it before and I wanted to practice a little bit before actually saying, okay, this is how it should be done. Because without having done it, it's hard to tell you guys.
Well, obviously we're pro level. Everything we do, we're pro level after the first go.
Absolutely. So that's starting to harden already, because I put a shit ton of hardener in it because it's pretty cold today. So
yeah.
Unfortunately, it started to harden when I was applying it.
So that's just a standard normal body filler, yeah?
Yeah, car filler. That's what Septone actually say to use. So on their website they actually show you how to use it. And I did watch that because I'd never done it before, so it's probably not a bad idea to watch it. And on their tutorial they actually say once this is done and you've sanded it all, to use this car filler.
Yeah.
So I did, and we'll see how it turns out.
You will, mate.
But on that little corner over there, where it was just a tiny sort of hole and not so much of a crack, I used that. So that there is actual, it says glass fiber filler. So it's a fiberglass hole filler, whereas it's kind of like a bog, like that body filler, but it's fiberglass reinforced.
Yep.
So it'd be all well and good to fill a hole with bog, I guess that would be fine. But being on the underside of the lip and probably going to be taking a bit of a hammering, I just didn't feel confident about how long that would last. So I got this glass fiber filler, which is fiberglass reinforced bog basically, and just filled it in there, and it seems to have worked a treat. But there was also cracks on the top here, which sanded out. So it must have just been cracks in the paint.
Yeah.
This here is colour matched paint from Super Cheap Auto. So when I went to Super Cheap and I got my sander and primer and everything else that I needed, there's a service they offer where you can give them your paint code, they search it in the computer, and then they can match your colour. It looks pretty spot on.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at how spot on that looks.
Yeah.
So there's a plan A and a plan B kind of maybe merging at the same time here, but what I'm going to do is, once this is all finished, I'm going to spray it with this stuff just to see how it looks. But I think the end goal is to probably Plasti Dip it black, because I've got the rear diffuser that's on there now is black and the rear pods are black. If I go and put a colour matched Rocket Bunny on there, it's going to look a bit strange. So it'll look a bit like the STI style now, where that's all black, front lips black, side skirts black, and it's all black, black, black and orange. That's probably going to be what's going to happen, but I don't want to Plasti Dip over this stuff and primer. I'd rather Plasti Dip over the paint. So I'm going to try and see if it'll colour match. Yeah. Now let me show you this that we've still got to do. So that'll be on the side of the car.
Fucking hell, it's going to be so hard to get in your car now.
No, it's not.
Fuck off.
Oh, that's another thing. We have to raise the car. The car's going to have to be raised. Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What
With
makes
this
you-
on there, I'm not doing this again. I
You
don't
love this
wanna-
shit, mate.
I don't want to scrape the shit out of this like the previous guy. Actually, it was the previous guy's friends. It wasn't even him. He lent his car to someone and they
Ruined it.
they backed it into a curb.
So they died.
And that's what happened.
Fucking hell.
So that's the fiberglass there, which we basically have to get rid of.
That sucks.
So yeah, there's a big hole in there, and it's all scratched up. So
What did
with
he
the
hit a
hole-
gutter?
Yeah, his mate
Fucking-
reversed him back and reversed into a gutter while he was on holidays.
You'd kill him.
So we've got to fix that. So for this, because it's not so much of a crack and it's a hole, I'll probably use that fiberglass filler,
Yeah.
because it's fiberglass reinforced bog, and then sand this back, sand like a section here back, prime it, and try our colour matching.
But I think, yeah. So again, we're not professionals at anything. So obviously Lee's now, he's done one. So that
I'm a
instantly
pro
makes
at
him pro.
everything. Like if you want any mechanical, like headers, intake, you name it, I'll
Yeah.
do it.
Build the car, we can build a car,
Build a
basically.
car. I can reinvent the wheel, vinyl wrap,
The whole works, mate.
and now fiberglass repair.
People asking us for help with vinyl wrap.
I will set up my own shop and feel free to come and pay me to do things. I might get your guys' opinion on something as well, because there's a...
Here we go. I haven't heard about these.
Yeah, you have.
Oh, have I?
There's something that I think I'm going to end up doing, and it's a whole car wrap. So
Oh, yeah.
I might put some pictures here of different colours of which I want to go with, and if you guys can sort of give me your opinion in the comments about which colour to go for, because I really want to try a full vinyl car wrap. It's going to be hard, but so keen, because I've been loving the vinyl.
What do you think? What do you think is going to be hard? You're pro.
Pro, it's going to be easy.
Nothing to it.
I'll do it in half hour. Full car wrap. Anyway, let's get back into this, Gregory.
Let's get working on it, mate.
Primer filler says it's suitable for priming and filling scratches, stone chips and minor surface imperfections. So that's exactly what we've got. On the back here it says that, say you apply 2 to 3 coats of this, you can actually sand this back, and because it's got the filler in it, maybe use an 800 grit. It doesn't say on here, but I'd assume it's maybe an 800 grit or something, and sand it back smooth to try and get rid of some of those surface imperfections. So that's what we're going to try and do. We're trying it on the back side first.
Yeah.
You're not going to see any of this really. That's our test subject,
The guinea pig.
the guinea pig. So we'll get stuck into finishing this backside with say 2 coats of the primer filler and see how it looks.
I reckon. I mean, for 2 amateurs, I think we've done a pretty good job.
Sure, mate. So this is the plan A. colour match paint from Super Cheap Auto. So I'm going to try spray it on this side first. Regardless of what it looks like, I'm going to spray the whole thing in it anyway, because more than likely it's going to get Plasti Dip black. It looks like it's going to be pretty close.
Yeah, it should be pretty close. Round one, mate.
Round one indeed. So I've now done a second coat on the backside. So I need to leave that dry a bit now before I flip it over, because I don't want the paint to be scratching off when I flip it over because it hasn't dried properly. I'm going to leave this for a sec and then come back, flip it over and do the rest, and then clear coat. Good morning, day 2. So last night I managed to put a clear coat on the lip here, and this weather is like super shit, and the clear coat basically went a bit cloudy because of the weather. It's apparently, I don't know if it's like too cold or something, but there is some cloudy patches in the clear coat. So never mind, I'm going to Plasti Dip it black, as I said, so not a big deal, but that's pretty much done now, just ready for a Plasti Dip. So I've got the side skirt. So this here is a big hole, obviously. It's the bottom side of the lip, and there's some missing paint. So all I think I'm going to do here is fill in this hole with the glass filler, sand this back, prime a section, rather than do the whole thing. I'm just going to prime this section, spray that with the colour match spray that I've got, and then just Plasti Dip this as well. There's a little bit of the same issue going on there on the other one, but no hole, so no big deal. I'm going to get stuck into filling this. Actually, I've got to sand it first and then fill it, and then we'll get into the rest of it from there. Okay, so once you've sanded it, and all I used was 80 grit on the electrical sander. If you don't have an electric sander, go and buy one. It's a pain in the ass to sand this by hand. I tried to begin with the lip to sand this by hand, and it just takes forever. That was like $40 from Super Cheap. Definitely worth the investment. So the main area being the hole, obviously you have to get rid of all the paint. You have to. Otherwise, the bonding agent in the filler won't stick to the fiberglass underneath, it just sticks to the paint on the top, and it has a reaction with the paint, and the paint starts to peel, and you basically, yeah, you end up with the fiberglass filler just peeling off with the paint. So make sure you sand all the paint around it, and then essentially you need to pick a line, I guess, where you want to stop sanding so that you can mask it and just spray this section, and same again on the top. So I'm just going to mask off about here and spray the whole top, mask off about there, still need to scuff that up, and spray the whole thing. So I'll just fill it now and then sand it again. Alright, so with this stuff you've got fiberglass matting, measuring cup, paintbrush, mixer, resin, hardener. So the first thing you want to do is start cutting up the pieces of the matting to the shape that you're going to need, and make sure it's bigger than the hole that's there. So just cut maybe 3 that size, and then once you've cut those up, you need to measure out your resin and your hardener. So depending on the weather will depend on how much hardener to use and stuff like that. It says in the instructions that for a cold day, for 50 ml of resin, use 40 drops of hardener, and on a hot day use half of that, 20 drops. So it's a fairly cold day today, so I'm going to use 40 drops, and I want this to set, like it says after 2 hours it should be set enough for you to sand it. So hopefully it doesn't take any longer than that, because I really want this done today. And make sure, the mistake I made last time I think is not mixing these two enough in here, because there was spots that were hardening quicker than other spots, and it was a bit of a nightmare, but we got there in the end. So I'm going to mix up this stuff. I've already used some wax and grease remover after sanding and whatnot. Wax and grease remove the areas, so it's nice and clean and you get a good bond. So it's all good. Alright, I'm going to mix up this and we'll get back into it soon. So once it's mixed good and proper, what you have to do, these gloves are sticking to each other, is get your paintbrush. This one came with a paintbrush, and paint where you're going to be applying it. Careful to control the runs, because you don't really want it to run onto an area that you're not planning on sanding. To get that fairly saturated with the resin, get a piece of your fiberglass. You want at least a centimetre overhang. Just place that there if it stops sticking to me, and then you want to douse this thing in resin. When you get enough resin on this fiberglass matting, it starts to go like a jelly consistency, and it says to dab, use a dabbing motion to push out like air bubbles. And that's it. Hopefully let that cure for 2 hours, and it should be hard enough for me to start sanding it. So we're pretty much done here now with the painting on this lip. Just got to wait for that to dry and we can then plasti dip it. So the two that we've done already, the front and the other side lip, they're good to go for plasti dipping. So Greg had to work today and he's on his way over, and we'll get stuck into plasti dipping them two. By the time they're drying, this one should be good to go for plasti dip, and then we can attach this. I've got all the hardware I need and it should be pretty straightforward. Fingers crossed.
Alrighty, so plasti dip is done. What's the time?
Time for pizza. It is 8:30.
8:30. Well, we'll go and get some food and then
leave these to dry, come back, screw it into the car.
Excited?
Not at all.
So time to put it on, mate.
It is. It's all dry. Still got to be careful with it though, because it's plasti dip and it will scratch off fairly easily. So, but it is ready. It is time, and I am super excited to see what it looks like. Keeping with the black and orange theme.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Do it, mate. All right, so time to put it on.
It's on.
Done, mate.
And it looks mad.
Yeah, loving it, eh?
It's only 11:30 on a Sunday.
Yeah, it was quite an eventful thing.
So worth it.
2 days. Full.
So awesome.